So Ali, thank you for joining us this evening. As mentioned, you were educated at Stirling High School. Do you look back at your school days with fondness?
Are we on? No. There we go. It's loud. Yeah, I do. At school we didn't really play much rugby, to be fair. It was all sort of basketball. And we had a very good sort of group of boys at school that all sort of had a real interest in basketball, so our school sort of focused on that. And then lastly, because we had a lot of rugby players at the school, we ended up setting up our own team at school. So, but for me, it was great. Really just getting all this sort of skills and the friends you make through sort of school and sport is fantastic.
And was there any other subjects other than PE and games that particularly caught your imagination?
Not really, no. No, like I was, to be honest, I wouldn't say I classed myself as a massive academic when I was at school. I really enjoyed sport and lunchtime. Were the sort of the two main bits I really enjoyed. But then, to be honest, more latterly I got into it sort of more since playing rugby and getting a little bit older. That's kind of where my sort of learning came. So certainly for me, when at school, PE was a massive outlet for me, and it's something that I excelled in. When I maybe didn't excel in other things so well. So, as I said, that it was a massive sort of positive for me, and sort of gave me a lot of confidence for myself, sort of going forward in life. Sport did that, and then it also gave me that sort of belief to then go on and get sort of a degree in later life.
And could you see yourself as potentially a professional basketball player, or was it always going to be rugby?
No, I tried very hard at basketball. That's about all it was, and I had a couple of sort of real good players. I think we had the tallest guy at school. I think was 6'8", 6'9". So when I threw up a shot, it wasn't very good. It looked more like a pass than me having a shot. But no, I think it was more sort of latterly towards the end of sort of school, and when I went to college straight after school, that I had sort of realised that professional sport could be an option. It was kind of just turned professional at that stage, and the kind of opportunity arose for me to join the sort of Scottish Institute of Sport that had just been set up, and that was kind of like a sort of pathway to into professional rugby. It was kind of before the days of academies. I'm that old that there wasn't even an academy set up before when I started in rugby.
And you made your debut for Edinburgh in 2002. Can you remember much about the game? Were you nervous?
Yeah, it was sort of halfway through my sort of first year. I didn't expect to get much game time. I just expected to go back and playing to my local club. But then it was against Cross Keys down in Wales. So it was they gave a couple of the older guys a rest and gave a couple of the young guys an opportunity. And I don't really remember much about the game, but I do remember we had a good night out after it in Wales.
And who were the players in the Edinburgh changing room at the time that you most looked up to, and why?
There was a guy, Tom Blackadder, who's obviously now director of rugby at Bath. Played alongside him. He was a big influence, obviously. All Black captain. I think he only got 12 All Black caps, but 10 of them were captain. He was that kind of influential player. And then there's also those guys like Marty Leslie, who was a Scottish international, but also another Kiwi. Played alongside Simon Taylor in that game as well. So there's a lot of really good, talented players within the Edinburgh squad at that time.
And you made your Scottish debut against Wales in Cardiff in 2004. Can you remember how you were selected? How did you find out, and what the pre-match build-up was like, and the actual game itself?
Yeah, it was a long time ago now. Yeah, it was towards the end. It came in a bit as a surprise. Matt Williams just came in as coach. And he's also wanted to put his mark on the team, and he picked myself, Dan Parks, Chris Cussiter and Tom Phillip to win their first cap in his very first game in charge. So it's kind of his way of maybe sort of wiping the slate clean of the old guys and bringing some sort of new people. So he seemed to like me. He picked me for all of his 17 tests. Only won 3 of them, so I don't know what that says about me. But yeah, it was an amazing honour, especially to play with. I played alongside Chris and Tom Phillip, age group rugby as well, so we played right the way through together. So it was nice to sort of have that sort of same experience and have somebody sort of you played alongside for that long, and then and have somebody to go through that experience with you, especially winning in Wales in the Millennium Stadium in front of 80,000 people. It was just it was unbelievable.
You went on to play for your country, Ali, 48 times, and you played in the 2007 World Cup. And during that World Cup, you became the first Scottish forward to score a hat-trick of tries in the 42-0 win over Romania. Would that be your most memorable match, your debut, or actually beating England in the 2006 Six Nations?
I did 2008 as well. I'd probably say, also winning your first caps, obviously probably the most memorable one, and then also the two Calcutta Cup matches that I managed to win. They're obviously two big highlights, especially the first one when we were in a really good situation. We won the first game against France, lost it narrowly to Wales after getting Scott Morris sent off, then beat England, then beat Italy in the last game, narrowly lost to Ireland as well. So that was a great sort of campaign for Scotland. We hadn't been doing too well up until then. I'd probably say the first cap, then the sort of first Calcutta Cup one was the best.
And in, sorry, this microphone's set up for Mr. Hogg, not me. 2005, I've mentioned before, Richie McCaw regarded you as one of the best back rows in the game at the time. And it was the time that the British Lions squad was announced to New Zealand, and despite being tipped, you narrowly missed out. How did that disappointment affect you, and what did you learn from it? Towards the I didn't expect to get picked. There was like a preliminary squad, and you got included in that. But then they went a sort of different way, and it was Andy Robinson actually, who was the Scotland coach, and ended up being the Edinburgh coach as well. He was selecting for them as well, and later he said they were humming and on about me whether to take me or not, and they decided not to. So thanks, that was really good. I'm glad you told me that now. It's one of those things. If it happens, it happens. You can't really get hung up on it too much. You just have to move on and keep trying to perform your best and become a better player. And as mentioned, you played 48 times for your country, so you're still on 48 caps. Do you still have thoughts on getting to maybe 49 and 50?
Yeah, it comes back to Andy Robinson again. He was the guy that dropped me, so he's had a lot of influence in my career, mostly bad. I'd love to. I think my last cap's in 2009, and just I think I played pretty much 48 of the 50 tests up previous to that, and then it just stopped really. So it was just one of those things. It was disappointing at the time, but realised actually it's when I moved down here to Newcastle. I realised it's maybe it was frustrating. It still had that massive sort of desire to win 50, and I still do. But it's one of those things in life. Sometimes your face doesn't fit, and you just have to get on with it. And you can't really do whatever you do. If you doesn't like it, he doesn't like it. So you can't really do much about it. So you just have to take it on the chin and hopefully I played well for Newcastle and kept sort of putting performance on the pitch, but that's just one of those things really.
So would you say Saturday, the fixture just gone against Bristol, Andy Robinson head coach, you man of the match, was that just
it was nice to be honest. He did say I played well, so that was I think it was a compliment from him.
And you mentioned you came down to the Falcons in 2010. A bit of a shaky start in the second season because they were relegated. What, again, from that sort of experience, what did the club learn from that, and what did you learn personally from that?
I think it was more the sort of direction. I'd always said to myself I didn't want to stay at the one club. I had the opportunity to stay at Edinburgh, but I also said to myself that I wanted to go and experience a new culture, although I didn't move very far, just to hit the closest club possible. But a new environment, new league, meet new people, experience new things. And I always wanted to sort of challenge myself in different leagues, and that was a big thing for me as a player and as a career. So that was my sort of main driving fact to come down here. Unfortunately, didn't do very well in the first couple of seasons. Getting relegated was disappointing, but spoke to Seymour, who's the owner, and he sort of laid out this vision of 5-6 years going down the line. So I actually re-signed when we got relegated, with the basis that we'd come straight back up and kind of kick on. So we did that. We didn't kick on as quickly as we have done, but we started the season well, and that's kind of the sort of whole process, was to sort of buy into something and really want to be part of this sort of club. There's a lot of good young players, and they're sort of really starting to come to fruition now, and really hopefully sort of see the club going up and up from now on.
And after Saturday's win, now 6th in the Premiership, what sort of ambitions do the club have for the rest of the season? What's a realistic achievement, do you think?
I think 6 and just keep it up. Obviously, we finished I think it was 11th the last 2 years. So it's just about sort of building on that and keep moving forward. And if we can do that, and as I said, there's a lot of good young guys coming through, and a lot of them are saying sort of lots of longer term contracts, which is big for the club, and you keep sort of your best talent. There's a lot of his local talent as well, so which is good, and hopefully that you build that good core of a squad that's all that'll take you forward.
And talking about the squad, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Other than yourself, if the current Falcons team, who would be your first name on the team sheet?
You probably say sort of Mark Wilson or Will Welsh at the moment. Unfortunately, they're in the same position as me. But they're two guys that are playing very, very well at the moment, and in my opinion should be sort of in the EPS squad for England. Been unfortunate to miss out in this year and even last year as well. But I think it's a little bit of the London bias, as you'll probably find out that most of the London teams like to keep it up to themselves, and they don't really sort of look out with the England selectors. I feel anyway, and they definitely deserve a shot at England.
And if you think about throughout your whole career, Ali, of the players you've played with, who would be your number one name on the team sheet?
As in sort of influenced me, or as in
as a kind of the best player you've played with?
Played with. It's a difficult one. There's different players for different reasons. To be honest, so you've got guys like Sonotti who you just get excited every time he gets the ball. So he doesn't know where he's going, so you don't know where he's going. So it's great to watch, and you're excited to play alongside him as well. And then you've got, as I mentioned, the guy Tom Blackadder earlier on, that sort of influence you could have on people, and the one that people wanted to play for him. It's just an amazing sort of attribute to have, that people wanted to play for him, even though he was a teammate. You never wanted to let him down, and do your best. So I'd probably say they're sort of two of the top guys.
So you're currently coaching alongside Mr. Hogg at Bladen. Is that something that you wanted perhaps get into, or has Mr. Hogg put you off?
Yeah, no, it's definitely something I sort of looked into. Coached last year Ponteal for a couple of years, and this year Mickey Ward asked me to come and join him and Lee at Bladen, which was nice. So no, I definitely enjoy that sort of aspect. I enjoy sort of imparting what I've learned and little hints and tips there that hopefully they can help people sort of improve their game. That's what I'm new, and then apart from that, just have to try and find a proper job and stop playing rugby.
Last two questions, Ali. They could have the same answer, we'll see. What was the best bit of advice you received as a young sportsman?
The best bit I would say was listen to everyone's advice, and then choose what you want. For me, you'll listen to all ex-players and stuff like that, and some of the stuff they talk is absolute rubbish, but sometimes they give you little bits that you can take. Well, I like that, and use that, or you might say, I'll never need that. But just listen to what everyone's got to say, and then just pick what you think is relevant to you, and then use it accordingly.
And last question, Ali. There'll be a lot of boys out there this evening who perhaps have dreams and ambitions and goals of potentially going on to play sport as a profession. What advice would you give to them at their age?
It's hard work, to be honest. I've got to admit, I was never the most talented rugby player or basketball player or whatever it may be, but I was willing to sort of put the work in and try my hardest. And I played with a lot of guys, especially at school. They were a lot more talented than I was, and had a lot more skill set. They probably didn't have that desire or that want to succeed and go forward. And for me, I think that's potentially what I had. That I really wanted to succeed. I really wanted to try and be the best I could be and push myself. And that's what I would say, is just try and do your best, basically. And if you might not be the most talented, but if you work hard and you can find your little niche within a team sport, then you can kick on with it.
Thank you very much, Ali, for giving up your time to join us this evening. Thank you.